was hard for me to find a Haggadah that had the Hebrew big enough to be able to copy and paste. So even this one, some of this is a little smaller than I'd like, but I could have done all Hebrew, but then you wouldn't know where you were in the Haggadah. I wanted to have the English translation, but I didn't want to have the transliteration because I wanted you to read the Hebrew. So it was really hard to find. Like I had looked through my own Haggadah, so I knew what I wanted to pull, but I didn't know where to pull it from. So, so this week we'll read from here. We'll get through what we have here. And then next week, everybody will bring the Haggadah that they use, and we'll find all these things in your Haggadah so that you're prepared for that.
Oh, wow. So you actually cut and paste all this?
I did it on the computer. I cut and pasted, like I have a cut and paste thing. So I found a Haggadah that I thought, could be big enough, and I pulled it. But then when I tried to fit it onto 4 pages, so it wouldn't be like a whole booklet you had to print out, I think I made it smaller, and that made it worse. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm actually looking at it on the computer, and I can enlarge it.
Oh, good. So that's good. All right. Hi, Sharon. Okay. So everybody has this in front of them. Does anybody need me to pull it up on the big screen? No? Okay.
I'm sorry, what are you pulling up on the screen? Is that
Did you get my email today with the Pesach reading?
Oh, no.
Okay, then I'll pull it up on the big screen. Then don't worry about it. I'm going to pull it up on the big screen.
Okay, then.
Do not worry. That's why I asked the question.
I guess I was feeding my dog.
Okay, it's okay. All right, so here it is. Okay, so when we have our order of the Seder, Kadesh, Urchat, Karpas, right? So this is the third thing we do in the Seder, which is Karpas. I wanted to put also the lighting of the candles on here, because the lighting of the candles for Shabbat.
Right.
So you're just adding a little phrase to it Friday night for the Yom Tov, but I'll do that next week. It's fine. Okay. So I believe we know all of these letters, right?
Mhm.
What's the letter at the on the title, the last letter?
Okay, that's a letter you don't know. That's a samach. And it says, so it's karpas. So that's a letter you don't know, but it makes a sound. We learned it last week. I'm thinking we may have learned it last week. No, we did not learn it last week. So, okay. So who wants to take a stab at that first blessing?
Try it.
Brave. Okay, Lila.
Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adamah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. I think that this one, we also have all the letters, I believe.
What about the L with the point in there? That's a U or O? Oh,
Where's that?
Elu. These
Elu.
are the templates. Elu.
Elu. Yep. The second to last word.
Okay.
So this is now, before you, if you scroll down, if I scroll down, you'll see these are the plagues. So before the plagues, it says these are the 10 plagues that the Holy One, blessed be he, brought against the Egyptians in Egypt, and here they are. And then you say blood, frogs, all of that. So who wants to take a stab at that one, at this part that comes right before the plagues?
I can take it.
All right, Lucero, go for it.
Elu, Esher,
Mhm.
Mahit,
Makot,
Mahot. Yeah, I always, okay. She'ei, Shevi,
uh-huh,
Hakadosh, Barhu, no, Baruchu,
uh-huh,
Al,
Mitzrayim.
Rom, Hamitzron,
ha-mitzrim,
Hamitzrim, yeah, Hamitzrim, I cannot see. Bamitz, Royim.
okay, so this is tough. It's be-mitzrayim. So this is
Oh,
ha-mitzrim,
Hamitzrim,
be-mitzrayim,
Mitzrayim.
right? So here, if you look at the English, against the Egyptians in Egypt, that's exactly what it is. So you've got ha-mitzrim, the Egyptians, but the ha means the, so it's the Egyptians. Be-mitzrayim, be means in. So it's two versions of the same root word, and it's a little tricky. But a little practice and you'll be able to mouth it off very quickly. And the last two words, Lucero, go for it.
Okay. Ve'elu hein.
There you go. Asher elu eser makot shehivi hakadosh baruch hu al hamitzrim b'mitzrayim ve'elu hen. All right. Who wants to take the plagues?
Oh,
Alice, you want to try it?
Can we do each one at a time?
Of course
Please.
you could do one at a time. Go ahead.
No, I meant take turns.
Sure, we could take turns. All right, so.
Good,
now-
I'll do the first one
Okay,
then.
go ahead.
Dam,
Sharon?
Yes. See there, do. See.
Okay, so this is,
The froggy. See.
it's hard.
Hard.
Sephardea.
Okay. Sefardea.
Uh-huh. See how the line is under the ayin? So this
Yeah.
says ah. It's a tough one. It's a really
Yeah.
tough one. Claire, you're gonna have to unmute yourself. I muted you. Sorry. Next one.
Hinim,
Kinim, good. Lila,
Arov. Arov.
Terry, Dever, right?
Daver.
Right. So remember I said that when there's a dot, that it's a grammatical thing. What it means is that you put the emphasis on that syllable. So
Oh.
when you see, and you're learning this for the first time, when you see it, it's dever, right? So in blood, in the top one, you have dam. That's the prominent syllable, dam. In frogs, the dalet is also the prominent one here. So it's tzfardea, right? Kinim, emphasis on the nun. Arov doesn't need it, dever, right? So that's how you know where the emphasis is on, which syllable it's on. So. Okay. Where are we? Alice.
Shaheen, did you do that one or is it?
No,
Bara?
that's the
Oh,
one.
Shaheen,
Lila,
Bevrad.
Barad, right?
Barad.
Claire,
You, Arva. Arve.
Arbe. There's a dot in it. It's
Oh.
Arbe.
You know what? Okay, our bed. Can you make it a little larger? I hope-
Yes, I can.
Oh, good.
Whoop.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get back to it here. Arbe. All right, Sharon, I'm gonna try to give you a small one this time.
Okay. Hoshek,
Choshech. And Lucero, I'll give you that last one.
Mavat, va, va, varorot,
So it's makat, that's a calf. Makat,
makat,
bechorot,
behorot. Okay,
right?
all right.
All right. Now, Rabbi Judah had an acronym for them, right? So remember I told you we don't know this letter, but it's called a samach. It says s. So we're, for the purpose of this, just because I thought you should have the next thing after the plagues. So if you're saying all the plagues, everybody usually says them together. You can have something else to say. Who wants to read the first line?
Rabbi Judah,
Yes, go ahead, Claire.
Rabbi Yehuda,
Yes. Terry, can I give you that?
Haya. No, Tain.
Mm-hmm.
Baham, but no. Bahem.
Yes. And this is C.
This is that one. Yeah.
This is a new one, C.
The Simanim. Simanim.
Simanim.
Oh,
Now these three words are made up, right? If you look, this is Dam, Sfardea, Kinim, Arov, Dever, Shrin, Barad, Arbe, Choshech, and Bechorot. So Rabbi Judah put together this acronym, which is Detzach, Adash, and Be'achav. I just thought that would be fun because you can actually read that, right?
mhm.
Okay. Next blessing. I believe we know all of the letters in this one and we can do it. Who wants to do it? It's a long one. Terry, let's go.
Is this eating the bitter herb?
Uh-huh.
Maror. Bahrain.
Baruch.
Baruch. Oh, that's the cub. Sorry.
It's okay.
Ata. Adonai Eloheinu. Melech Olam. Asher. Yeshanu. B'mitzvotav. B'tziv. Na.
Vetzivanu. So this vav here,
B'tzivanu.
this vav here is not a vav with a dot inside like ooh. It's the dot inside where I was telling you that you want the emphasis on that syllable. So it's vetzivanu, right?
B'tzivanu.
So it's confusing because it looks like the ooh sound, but it's part of the bracha of vetzivanu, right? So hopefully we can differentiate between those. Sorry, keep going.
Al. What?
Al.
Al. Kila.
Pilot.
Chilat. Chilat.
Pilat.
Oh, good. You had it right the first time, but you didn't pronounce the t at the end, but it's good.
Maror.
Yes. It's all, you know, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'tzivanu al achilat maror.
Ahilat.
Maror. And I'm going to tape this for you tonight or first thing tomorrow. So, okay, now we are on Korach. Eating the Hillel sandwich, right? That's when you take a little bit of horseradish on your fork. You put a little bit of the whatchamacallit?
Maror.
Process.
The charoset, you put it
Charoset.
together and you eat it. Okay, so we're gonna do this line by line because it's a lot. Okay, another letter I could not get away from is this is a zayin. It says z. It looks like a vav, but it kind of has a tail on the end. I'm gonna go to the whiteboard and show you the difference. Let me just get a thicker marker. So a vav, whoops. A vav is like this. A zayin is like this. Okay, so it's similar, but it has this little tail on the end. So it's hard to get away from it in the Haggadah because we say that God took us out with an outstretched arm, which is Zroa Netuya. And there's just a lot of zayin in the Haggadah, so it's hard to get away from. So I'm teaching you these two letters, Samach and Zayin, today, so that we can read some of these things. Okay, who wants to read? I'll just go around the room. Alice, let's start with the first line.
Zecher lemikdash.
That's a dalid, mikdash.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Lemikdash. Behilal.
Kehilel. That's a kaf.
Oh, but it's
Right?
like yes.
Okay. So
Kehilal.
Kehilel. So the dalid does look like a resh. So when you have it out, you might want to extend that dalid a little bit, you know, with your pen so that you can see it. And that's why I want to go to everybody. I want everybody to bring their Haggadah next week so we can go through. You know, if you do it at your house and you have the Haggadah, I have a few Haggadot and I'll bring them up to my room next week and I'll, you know, I have like the Bierman house one is the one like my family's used forever and the Maxwell house and whatever. I'll bring a couple of those. So if that's the Haggadah you're familiar with, we'll find it so that we can put it up on the screen and say, okay, here's what you're going to be looking at your Seder, because the Dalit and the Resh and the Kaf and the Bet, you know, because of the font looks different than what we've been learning up until now. So, Sharon, you want to do that second line?
All right, we'll try it. Bain.
Cain, that's also
Okay,
a Kaf.
also the, all
Okay.
right.
Listen,
Keep
the
tricking us.
Bet just has a tail here. It's
Right,
almost
right,
the same
right.
letter. It's very confusing.
Right. Well, I should read off of that. I'm reading off my little paper. Okay, Cain. Shah.
Asa, the dot's over here. It's tiny, but the dot's over here.
Indeed, it is tiny. Okay, I still can't. Okay, Asat. Tilal.
Hillel, right? Okay.
You want me to keep going or?
Yeah, why don't you try the next one? Remember, this is a zayin here. Z.
Okay. Basman. Basman Shabe. Hamikrash.
That's a dalit again.
Hamikdash.
Yeah.
Hamikdash. Karam.
Kayam, perfect. All right. Terry, why don't you do the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, which are not that many words until the period.
Yeah. Correct.
Mhm.
For Pesach.
Yes, good.
Okay.
Yay.
Masa.
Uh-huh.
Maror.
Umaror, right?
Maror. Oh, hell.
Mhm.
It's either. I think there's a dot in the first in the. I think it's that'd be a bet then.
Yeah. See the tail, good.
The hard.
Beyachad.
The day yahad.
Beyachad. Perfect. Lila, the next line.
Lakad yam ma.
It's actually like Kayem. That's 2 dots. It's hard to read on. I blew it up so
Sorry,
much
look.
that they're blending. I'm sorry.
Lakad yay. Aim
Mhm.
ma. Shenet emar.
Perfect. Claire, finish it up.
Al Azot Roren Rolem
Vorim.
Rorim
Good.
Av Luhu.
Yochli.
Sorry.
Good.
Then of Luhu.
Yochluhu.
Yoch. Oh, because I didn't. Okay. Yoch. Lu-
Yep. Because there's no dot in there. Okay, so that all comes right before dinner, right? So you have your plagues. Then we talk about, the part of the Seder where they say, point to the matzah. This matzah represents blah, 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 blah. This is the maror. The maror represents blah, 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 blah. The shank bone represents blah, 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 blah. And then we do all these things where we eat the maror and we eat the korech and we eat all of that. So that's where that is in the Seder. Then I don't know who does what after dinner in the Seder. Some people finish their Seder with dinner, some people whatever. But something that might actually be really nice for you to do for the 49 days between Passover and Shavuot is to count the Omer. Okay? And the blessing to count the Omer is always the same. It's always this. And then every day it says, today is the first day of the Omer, right? And then it will say, today is the second day. Today is the third day. When you get to the 7th day, hold on, I'm opening up my Siddur. It's usually in the back of the Siddur because it's Sfirat HaOmer. This is Pirkei Avot. Hold on, I'm going to find it in here. Because when you get to the 7th day, it says today's the 7th day, 1 week of the Omer. And then it will say today's the 8th day, 1 week and 1 day of the Omer. Hold on. It's Shavuot Thanksgiving. Maybe it's 376. Hold on. I should have found this before we. No, these are all. It's usually like right in the back of the Siddur because we do it every day for all that time. But I'm not in my regular, oh, here's Birkat Hamazon. Maybe it's after that. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Nope. Let me just look really quick. Oh, counting of the Omer. It's actually in the beginning of the Siddur, page 55. Look at that. Okay. Okay. So here's my Siddur, and you see how it says kind of today's the first day, then the second day, and all that. When you get to see how it says today's the 8th day, that it is 1 week and 1 day of the Omer, right? So this will give you, I think it's interesting, like, here's day 40, right? Let's see where it is. Day 40. It is 40 days, 5 weeks and 5 days, right? So it says, Hayom 40 yom shehem 5 shavuot ve5 yamim laOmer. And that gives you, so it might be something fun for you to do to kind of read, count the Omer and read it. So I figured I would put this in because the first night of the Seder, you're supposed to start counting the Omer. So long introduction. But let's go, Lucero, you want to try this blessing?
What, Safirat HaOmer?
The Sfirat HaOmer, all the way to the colon.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al safirat haomer.
Right, Al Sfirat HaOmer. Okay, Laila, do the next line.
Hayom Yom Achad LaOmer.
Right, today is the first day of the Omer. Okay, let's do these. Let's do these in lines of 2. Claire, you want to do the first 2 lines?
Vehi ratzon milefanecha Adonai Eloheinu.
Terry, the next 2 lines.
Below high. Avotenu. She nay
Uh-huh.
beat hami hamikdash
Yep, Hamikdash.
hamikdash
Yep, Alice, the last 2 lines.
Bimhera.
Uh-huh.
Ve ya menu. Ve via menu. Via
Yes.
menu.
Mm-hmm.
The tain Helkenu
Yep.
Beto Ra Hecha.
Beautiful.
Betorechecha.
Perfect. Okay, so there's a lot here to practice. I'm going to send you a recording. And if you get to all of it, fine. And if you don't get to all of it, that's fine too. This is all, whoops. This is all you. This has nothing to do with what I want you to do or whatever. It's what you have time for between now and your Seder, right? So if you have time for none of it, that's fine. Don't review any of it. It's fine. If you have time for some of it, that's fine. Knowing you know what your Seder is like, hopefully, I don't know, we've been through this pandemic and everybody's Seders has changed and whatnot. But if you know what your Seder is like, is there anything that you feel like, okay, I want to do this? Is there anything you want me to find for you to do? And again, if one person says it, that doesn't mean everybody else has to do it. But if somebody really wants to do something in the Seder, you know, a piece of the Seder, I'm happy to review it with you.
No, that's all right. I was just gonna say the songs, that's okay. We have the words to it, I guess.
Which song?
I don't know.
The end of this, the end of the Haggadah.
Yeah, the one about
song?
the goat, the goat.
Okay, the one about the goat. Let me tell you about the one about the goat. That's actually Aramaic. So it's Hebrew letters, but the words are Aramaic. But I will record that as a separate song for you. And so you can listen if you want to listen to it, you know, while you're walking around the house or something, or while you're running errands so that you can get to know it a little better. I will do that. It is the Haggadah, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you'll hear, again, it's Hebrew letters, so you can read it, but it is, it's Aramaic. So it doesn't sound like anything you would read in the Siddur or in the Torah or anything like that, because it's Aramaic.
Okay. I have a question, please.
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't follow how Rabbi Judah had an acronym for the plagues.
Oh, okay.
I don't see it. I don't.
All right, we're gonna go back to it then. We're gonna go back to it.
I mean, I see it, but I don't comprehend it.
Okay, so you have your take your plagues out, right? You have this page, right?
The 10 of them listed, yeah.
Dam is Daled, Sadiq is for the first one for Tzfardea, and Kaf is for Kinim, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's Daled, Sadiq, and Kaf, but Kaf so feet basically. So he says Ditzach,
Okay.
right? Then your next ones, you know, so that's how you supposedly it's like a mnemonic to try to remember it, right?
Okay, now I see it. Yeah.
So I just thought that was fun to be able to read these acronyms, Ditzach, Adash, Be'achav, because it's fun to say.
Yeah. Good way to memorize it too.
Exactly, to memorize the order and that sort of thing. So
Lymor, I would be interested in the answers to the 4 questions where they talk about the Chacham.
Avadim
and
Hayinu.
Yes.
So I was gonna do Avadim Hayinu, and the 4 sons. Let me see, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I could pull up. I have a Haggadah. How about I open it first? Okay, can you see the blue Haggadah that I have up?
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this just happened to be, this is a Chabad one, but it just happened to be a free one online that I could download. So I did. The first, and it's cute actually. If you want the website, I'll send it to you. This is like, the first part of this is like, actually goes into a lot of detail of like, why do you get rid of the chametz and when do you do the search and why and what and what kind of matzah should you have and you know, here's what you're going to need for the Seder. Here's the shopping list. It's like for very, very primitive, you know, people that might be doing a Seder for the first time or hosting for the first time. So I did want to go over this, and I'm going to get to what you asked, Lila, in 1 second. So our first night is Friday night this year. And so we already know the blessing, right? For Friday night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. You just add the words and Yom Tov and Yom Tif, right? To the end of the Friday night blessing. So I'm gonna put that on a piece of paper for you guys to have. The second night, or when the first night doesn't fall on Shabbat, you're actually saying this blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leadlik ner shel Yom Tov. So same as the Shabbat, you're just replacing Yom Tov with the words Shabbat. So this is something you definitely can do. And we did not learn this letter, right? This tet. We didn't learn tet yet, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's probably why I took it out. Because I was like, well, I'm already teaching them Zayin, I'm teaching them Saba, but that's a tet. And it says to, just like a taf. Okay, so let's get to, and then there's Shakhianu, right? You all know the Shakhianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam Shekhianu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. And that's where your Zion comes in again. There was just so many of them. So I'll get those in there because you're going to say those anyway. Okay, so now they're telling you about the Seder plate. This is where they're telling you the different steps of what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to get to, might be easier to do it this way. This is Kiddush, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz, Magid. Okay, so the first part of Magid, hold on. Yep, you break the middle matzah and then you say halach ma'anya. This is the bread of poverty. As we break it, we do the 4 questions, right? Manishtana, the kids sing that. And by the way, you can open up and I bet you could follow along when they sing. You could follow along with this. Okay. So the answer is Avadim hayinu lefaro b'mitzrayim. Like we were slaves in Egypt, all of this. And I started to do it. And then I'm like, well, how far do I go here? You know, like, I don't know that people read all of this in Hebrew at their Seder. I was trying to find like, what do people read in Hebrew at their Seder that it might cover everyone? But you're asking about the 4 sons, right, Lila?
Yes, I was curious. Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we can go over this. I can record this, the four sons. Chacham mahu omer, ma ha'edut ve'hachukim ve'amishpatim asher tziva Adonai Eloheinu etchem. Yeah, this is not so crazy. You have the text here. So I could do that. I could record that and you could go again. Next week, I want you to all bring your own Haggadot and some sticky notes. So you could kind of write some notes on stickies and stick them out of the Haggadah. So when you get to them in your Seder, you're like, oh, I know how to read this. I know how to read this, you know?
Can you, the ones that I don't know, is it too much to ask? Can you send us this one as a PDF?
This Haggadah? Sure.
Please, I like it.
Sure. Yeah, okay, I'll send it.
Which one is it? I mean,
This
it's
is a
not
Chabad, this is a Chabad.org Haggadah. But like I said, I was looking for something I could download for free and this was it. So.
Or you could give us the
link. Yeah, maybe I could give you the link and you can download it yourself. Let me see how big it is.
I was gonna take a picture of it, but I'm. if I-
No, you don't have to. I'll send it to you.
It's beautiful. I really like it. It's simple, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I downloaded it. I was like, okay, and there's a lot to read on it too. So if
Mhm.
like this, if you use this for your Haggadah, see, like there's all this little stuff in here, like, and again, it's a little bit more
Juvenile.
aloof and Chabadi, because they are really looking to reach out to people that, that don't understand a Seder and things like that. So, okay, so I'll record these pieces here of these. Anything else that you guys know that you do at your Seder that you might want to read in Hebrew? I'm happy to record, the whole thing, but it'd take me a lot of time. And everybody, everybody's Haggadah is just a little bit different, right? But the four sons, the verbiage is there's pretty much a standard verbiage for it. So, all right. So I'm going to send you the link to this Haggadah. I'm going to record for you all of these things on these 4 pages. I'm going to record Chad Gadya, Avadim Hayinu, and the 4 sons.
That's a lot. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're amazing.
And this is why I'm saying, and I'm going to put it in the email too. Do as much or as little as you want. This is not your homework, all this stuff. It's whatever you want to do for next week is what you do. And I will write the 3 letters we learned this week. We kind of learn them de facto. So you can certainly go over them as well. If you want to find them in your book and read those lines to yourself, go for it. But we'll be relearning them when the time comes. And when we relearn them, we'll relearn them kind of quicker because we've already kind of learned them. So it's just, we needed these other 3 letters to actually get to what we want to do for Pesach. So, okay, good. Let me know if you have any questions. If you run into any issues when you're reading through it, I would suggest to pull out your Haggadah that you use at your Seder if you have it at home. Or if you're going to your sister's house, ask her to borrow it. If you live close, ask her to borrow it so you can go through and, like I said, make some notes on some sticky notes. And that way you're reading from the font of the Siddur, you're practicing on the font of the Haggadah you're going to use that night. So that's special. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
One thing, when I go to services, we have the Amidah we read. And it's something that's very hard for me to get through. Is there a format? And is there something that you can read and then don't have to read? Seems like there's a lot. And I read a lot of the English because I can't do Hebrew because the speed is not there. My speed is, I do the
Right.
first part, I try in Hebrew, and then I switch to English. Is there a format to the Amidah that we have to do and some that we can drop?
So there are 18 blessings in the Amidah. They're split up into 4 sections. I'd have to go pull out my notes and really see what those 4 sections are. And so when I do the Amidah, I try to hit those sections. The Shabbat Amidah is much shorter than the weekday Amidah. They take out some things because they want you to proclaim the Shabbat to be holy. It's more of a, you go through and you go, oh, okay, this is about Shabbat. Great. And you say the words to yourself, but you're not, but you're thinking of what it is. It is, when they do the repetition of the Amidah, they have to say everything, right? And the whole idea of having a somebody who davens, somebody who's up there saying it. They're called the Shaliach Tzibur. And what a Shaliach Tzibur is, it's a messenger of the people. Messenger of, Tzibur means the public. It's a messenger of the public. So when you take on a davening role, you're taking on saying the words for people who can't because they're old or they're incapacitated or they're sick or they can't read Hebrew or they don't understand what they're saying. Like, and it's nothing to do with, with any, not one definition is for all of them. It's for people who can't. And so that is, my husband reads Hebrew very little, and he will not be a Shaliach Tzibur because he feels that since he doesn't know the words, he doesn't feel like he should say them for other people. So that's his personal thing, right? So there's an obligation you have when you're saying all of these things. So when you're praying, a lot of times, like if I had a hard week, I really won't read. I will just kind of reflect on my week and say, okay, here's where I went wrong. Here's what I'm going to do better next week. And, that sort of thing, and kind of solidify it during that time that I'm talking to God at that 10-minute period that they give us for Silent Amida. So it's what for my personal feeling, again, your rabbi will tell you what he wants to tell you, or she. My personal feeling is it's my time to pray to God however I want, and sometimes I'll read everything word for word and think about Jerusalem and think about, Moses at Mount Sinai and that sort of thing. And sometimes it's about me and my family and my, or my, whatever my mishigas is for the day,
Thank you. That explains it. And the Shaliach Tzibur, it's very, it's good. It helps me a lot.
And I'll find it, what the 4 different sections are of the 18 blessings. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
So you can see it. Yeah. So, okay. Ladies, I don't want to
Thank
take more of
you.
your time. I will see you next week. You'll get my recordings you'll get most of them tomorrow and then probably more on Wednesday, right? Because now you've given me so many things to record, but it's totally fine. I'm totally fine. And don't
Thank you,
forget your
Lymor.
own Haggadot if you have them, okay?
Thank
Okay,
you. It was a
thank you very
wonderful
much.
class.